And Charles, you look at this Eagles team as they interplay here. They come in losers of 2 straight, so they're trying to right the ship here a little bit.
They're teetering a little bit, aren't they? And now things could really go south if they lose this game, so they understand the importance of playing well and stopping this streak.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Redskins, they come in pretty desperate here for a win as they've started the year 0-5.
And it seems way too early to start talking about hot seats, but guess what? When a team is 0-5, people start wondering about their jobs.
Smith on first down, and he finds the tight end, Reed. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
No chance to get away there for Smith as he goes down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
So now an early 3rd and 10 here on their opening drive. Out of the gun, Smith. And he's going to go down again. Derek Barnett in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game watching this offensive line because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
So now here comes the Eagles offense as they get ready to take over. Leading the charge under center will be their 6'5" quarterback, Carson Wentz.
Coming off of a loss their last time out, I think he's just seeking to make a bigger impact on the game. He threw a touchdown pass, didn't throw an interception. I think he just wants to jump those numbers up in terms of flinging it around and letting his receivers get into the end zone.
They'll run for the first time with Sony Michel. And he'll get this up over the 25 to the 26. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
From the 26, they'll line up on 2nd and 4.
Let's go one more. Go.
Now a play fake. Wentz. He's going to look deep down the field. It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, Philadelphia. A big play there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Eagles have taken the early lead. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts. All right, because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
This will be fielded at the 6. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a first down.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
On second down, here's Smith. That'll be caught right side by Reed. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. So he got 3 of 1 tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes in bounds. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Here's Smith. And that is incomplete.
You absolutely have to have this early on, right? 3rd and short, they elect to throw for it, and that's normal NFL football. They're going to throw on 3rd and short, but you've got to hit it, don't you?
Yeah, in the first quarter, like you said, to set the tone, can't connect there. Now on comes the Washington field goal unit. From the left hash, it's a 42-yard attempt. And his kick is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
Yeah, things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front 7? As they got closer to their goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
The lead cut to just 4 as they kick it away and turn things over to their D. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
They go play action here on first down. That's caught at the 25. And he'll get inside of Washington's 15 before being taken down. A big play there for Philly. 63 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Now a first down carry. It's Michel. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Sony Michel, his 14th touchdown now on the year. And the Eagles had 6 to their lead.
I can't help it, partner. I love backs that have a lot of burst.
Yeah, they ran the toss play. By the way, sometimes you'll hear toss and pitch used interchangeably, but that was the toss.
Well, for me, a toss, quarterback takes the snap, turns around, tosses it to
like
the tailback.
Like an egg underhand.
Yeah, like an egg underhand, really with 2 hands. And a pitch, usually like you're running an option-type play, and you pitch it out there to the trailing back.
Goes end over end like a field goal.
Yeah, where you turn it over, make sure that thumb turns down, and the ball flips end over end slowly and delicately to your running back.
So that'll back him up 5. Elliott on for the extra point. Elliott good with a PAT, and that pushes the lead up to 11. Elliott now to kick this one away. This one taken from the 7th. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. So out now come the Redskins. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal, field goal, field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. And they'll go on the ground. Not much room here as he only gets it to about the 30. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Here's Smith. Out to the left here to Reed. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Hey, fellas, we got 3. Let's go. Set.
Smith on 3rd down. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Sidney Jones. And he'll score. Touchdown, Eagles. Third down, passing down. They throw the extra defensive back in there for a nickel package, and it worked out.
And it's not anything that you would think is just great strategy. It's just that when you have 5 defensive backs on the field on an obvious passing down, it's a lot tougher to complete a pass. And on that play, they completed it just to the wrong team, and it cost them 6 points.
Elliott now to add the extra point. Elliott good on the extra point, and the lead is up to 18 now. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. This one taken from the 7. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Now the Redskins offense, they get set to go back to work here. And they gave up the pick 6, and now they'll be looking to right the ship here. Now, as a quarterback, are you a little more cautious this go-around?
You should be, just because after what you gave up, but you can't be so cautious as to just really take things in, and now you're not going to play loose enough to give your team a chance to score. But you still have to be careful, because those defensive guys, I know the reputation defense guys can't catch. All evidence to the contrary on that last possession, though.
Good opening quarter for him. Remember, he had the sack earlier. Now a tackle for loss, another tackle for loss.
He's really making it tough on the play caller, though, isn't he? Because it's one thing to try and adjust when a guy is disrupting your running game. But when he's messing up your passing game as well, they may have to devote at least a second guy to him to try and keep him away from their plays.
So the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. They'll run it now out of the gun. Takes it to the 26, just a 1-yard gain.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
3rd and long, it's Smith. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Derek Barnett in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me.
Back live, Charles Davis to my right. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Redskin football to begin quarter number 2. They are, however, facing a 4th down situation. Take it at the 37. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. Offense marching back onto the field, and our focus shifts here to Sony Michel. And we checked the rushing numbers so far here into Week 6, and the returns have been really good. Now, you're starting to hit that stride middle of the season toward the end. They're certainly hoping they can keep up this production.
They are, because one of the adages in the NFL is that defense travels and defense endures even in bad weather, right? You know what else does? A good running game. And people want that, especially as you head down the stretch. You may play outdoors in some nasty stuff. You're trying to get to the playoffs. This is the time to get it going. And individually, I don't think you should just think about 1,000 yards either. The bar has to be set higher with this beginning.
Delay of game, offense.
And that'll set them back 5.
Still 2nd down.
Watch 8-9, watch 8-9, he's yours.
Following the penalty, Michel. And they get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. That good for 22 and a 1st down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of the yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another 1st down with that run.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now a pitch out to Michel. And some room to run now. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
No matter the week, no matter the team, you're going to hear coaches wax nostalgic for big tight ends that can control the edge of the line of scrimmage. Well, sometimes you don't have a tight end in the game, so now you're looking at your tackles. Can they control the perimeter? make sure that that gets sealed off so there's no penetration off of the edge. If they're able to do that, that's why a toss play is successful. Because once they get to the edge, they can pick and choose their spot, which way to run, whether it's deep outside or cutting it back inside to pick up big yardage. On that play, they controlled the edge so well, they picked up an excellent chunk of yardage.
And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And it'll be second and very short.
I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
And here he'll get it down to the 7. Just a gain of a yard, but it's going to set him up with a 1st and goal.
Ordinarily in short yardage, most people don't run a toss because it takes a little bit longer to develop. But some teams see it as a very physical type run because the amount of people that get out in front of the runner, offensive linemen, tight ends, sometimes an extra back, they like to run that play there and try and run over people.
Double tight. Hey, you got 3 down. Here we go.
Trying to pound it in here with Michelle. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
When we talk about Luke Kuechly, you can't talk about his overall game without talking about his intelligence and how he controls the whole defense. He quarterbacks that defense, and at times will actually make checks, just like a quarterback would on offense to get them into the right defense. They definitely were on that play. How about that finish? Holding that to a minimal gain.
This will be caught just inside the 10. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Carson Wentz with 2 first-half touchdown passes. And the Eagles add on to their lead. And his kick is good. Elliott now to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. He's just been looking for some space. I'm not going to pin it on him or the offensive line, but they need to get this run game going better.
Sometimes you just have to credit the defense. They came in with a plan themselves. So I think now you try and mix things up a little bit. Get the ball in the hands of some other people, find some other playmakers, but always let the defense believe that he's still a threat.
I was going to say, don't forget about it.
No, don't take him totally out of the game.
That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. To throw on 2nd down is Smith. Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. Derek Barnett in there to get him, and that's sack number 12 for him on the year. Throwing on 3rd and long. Smith. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Derek Barnett in there to drop him, and his great season continues. 13 sacks for him now on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down.
3 down, 3 down.
There we go, back man. Blue 80. Shit.
This drive starts out on the ground with Michelle. Oh, that's just not fair, and now room to run. And he's a long ways into Washington territory before hitting the turf. A big play there just before halftime. 51 yards on the ground. Yardage-wise, he's in the top handful of backs in the league so far this season. A great run there.
He's going to love that standing when it comes to contract time. But even more so, his team loves it because he gives them an identity and sets a tone.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal.
3 down, 3 down.
They get it to him running left. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Sony Michel in the final seconds of the first half. And the Eagles continue to roll.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point. Final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10.
Set.
And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. So we've come to halftime here in Philly with the Eagles on top. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll get started down at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, where it was definitely a game with some intrigue, as you can see by the scoreline. Mason Rudolph, excellent in the victory, as his guys run their mark to 4-2 on the year. From there, we're off to check out another game. And they were winners in that one as they defeat the visiting Seattle Seahawks. David Johnson up near 200 yards rushing and a touchdown as well. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
So the Eagles with the lead, and they're going to get this football first as the third quarter gets underway. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Out come the Eagles now as they'll go on offense first here in the third quarter. They had a big first half. Now they have a chance to add to that lead here in the opening possession of the second half.
And everyone always asks about halftime adjustments, kind of the key phrase. What did you do at halftime? Well, the way they ran offense in the first half, I think they were very calm, congratulatory, but also what they were saying is don't expect them to be the same on defense. They'll be the ones making the adjustments. Let's see what they do, and we'll attack accordingly.
And we'll see how they attack here. Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line.
Check 91.
Please.
On play action, it's Wentz. He's going to go for a big play downfield. This is caught at the 20. Touchdown, Philadelphia. 3 touchdown passes now for Carson Wentz. And the Eagles are pouring it on.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his second touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Elliott good with a PAT, and that will extend this big lead. Elliott now to kick this one away. This is taken at his 4. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. So now we look at the Redskins offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of it?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start. He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
And they'll run it here. And he'll take it forward for about 5 up to the 28-yard line.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
The Redskins on third down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Smith now to throw. And he took the contact as he was throwing it, and the ball drops incomplete.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. A big boot that time. 57 yards the official distance. And the Eagles will be backed up deep to get the drive started as they take over 1st and 10. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
54's Mike. 54's Mike.
Hey, kill.
They'll start out on the ground with a jive. Muscles by at the 25. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. 1st down.
Really strong, effective run there out of a power set or a heavy set. 3 tight ends in the game, and that's tough for a defensive coordinator. They want to spot that lineup coming into the game early so they can get the proper defensive personnel on the field. That's why the coordinator's relying on some of the assistants to tell him what offensive personnel is hitting the field so he can adjust accordingly. They weren't able to stop him on that run.
Mike's 5-4, Mike.
Right back to him on 1st down. And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. Deron Payne, the big D tackle there to make the stop.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Double tight.
Hey, kill.
Out.
Now it's a jive. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. And give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Hang in there now.
Tight end to the right, boy. Tight end to the right. Move.
Wentz now on 1st down. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. Second and 12 after the 1st down pass play went backwards for 2 yards.
4 down.
Here we go. Back man.
They run with a jive. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And it's going to be 3rd down and a ways to go here. 3rd and 14.
Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game, but what a nice play by the defense. Stepping up on that one. Maybe they'll get things going in their direction after a play like that.
We got 3 down.
On 3rd and long, it's Wentz. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because they nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
And now they're going to go for it. This isn't 4th and inches. This is 4th and 14.
Hey, boys, we got 4 down.
81.
Right there.
They do go for it. It's Wentz looking deep downfield. And this is caught inside the 5. And he'll take Eagles touchdown. A big play there with his 3rd touchdown of the game, number 7 on the year. And the Eagles continue to roll.
You have fun with this one, partner?
I am. I mean, he's been fun to watch under center.
We always talk about, getting to the next level, right? When we see people get into the zone, this guy's in the master class right now. What a performance he's putting on, just carving them up.
4 touchdown passes. Carving him up is right. Seems like everything he throws is going to be a completion and going in the end zone. This one taken from the 7. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that. All right, Brandon, you know me as well as anyone. You know I don't usually advocate abandoning things during a game. But here we are in the second half. I think it's time to change things up. Let the running game go a little bit. Let's get to the passing game. And if you still want to get in the hands of the runner, maybe you swing it to him, throw it to him a little bit. Try it that way. Oftentimes when you're not winning at the point of attack for an offensive line, maybe they're getting out physical. Spread things out a little bit, make it more of a one-on-one blocking scheme. Then you don't have to win it.
And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Ronald Darby. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Eagles defense gets a pick-6 TD. This D wanted to put it away before we even get to the fourth quarter, widening that margin a bit further.
And while they won't just empty the bench just yet, if you're a backup, start loosening up. I think you'll get a chance to play before this one is over now with that type of a cushion.
So they throw the pick-6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This one taken from the 7. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And fresh off the pick-6, they've got to forget about that quickly.
In this case now, the guy throwing the ball, he's got to be like what we talk about the defensive backs who get beat for a long touchdown. Short-term memory, right back out there doing the things that he does best, and knowing that taking care of the ball is paramount. Here's his opportunity.
It all comes back to those defensive backs for the former DB, right?
I don't know where that comes from. It just kind of emerges out of me for some reason.
It's deep in there, right? And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all. Tackled that time by Sidney Jones. Well, usually you don't think of the cornerback coming in for a no-gain play, but that's what we had there. Nice tackle.
Man, how about the range, too? Coming from the outside part of the play, moving his way into the inside and making that play happen.
And he is going to be taken down. And that should be the final play of this third quarter. And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. And it's fielded at the 34. 51 yards on the punt there. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. This ball game certainly has gotten a little out of hand. This is normally when they say you got to fill. This is fill time for guys like you and I. But, yeah, to be frank, just a dominating performance. Really impressive what we've seen.
It is, and I'm glad that you went in that direction because otherwise we're going to have to talk about the museum tour we took yesterday.
Which was also impressive.
Which was also very impressive. But this game, how they've done it, offense, defense, special teams, they put it all together. And I got to tell you, I am beyond impressed by what I've seen from this team.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Keeping it on the ground on first, Michelle. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. That burst good for 20 and a first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
On the toss, here's Michelle. Oh, good move. And effective running here. He'll take it down inside the 10. It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets him to 2nd and 4. At this stage of the game, with the score where it is, the key here is stay in bounds, and he did just that. Not by a huge margin, but he stayed in.
And those come up in what we like to call winning edge meetings. The things that you have to do, late game situations, kicking situations, doesn't matter what it is, the things you have to do to win a game, and that comes up in that meeting, then you practice it, they've got to be happy to see it executed, being able to stay in bounds and work the clock. Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9.
And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. Trying to bust out of that losing funk, and these fans have to like this, saying, all right, fellas, this is more like it.
And I know that if this holds up after the game, they're going to give the fans a lot of credit being at home, getting the support. But you and I both know it goes deeper than that. They had to get it together in their own facility, look each other in the eye and say, okay, what's it going to take to break this losing streak? And they really came together with a good week of practice.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Redskins offense now, they get set to take over here. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
He has just been completely taken out of this game. We're in the fourth quarter. He's single digits in the rushing department.
And I know we look at him because the numbers do go to his production.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Derek Barnett in there to get him. Sack number 14 for him on the year.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
And he'll get this one up to about his 14. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down. Time for a break. We'll come back and wrap up garbage time after this. So it's Redskin football here as we welcome you back. They come up on a 4th down situation with things not looking particularly rosy. Fielded at the 33. And once more. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And the Eagles will have great starting field position here as they take over. The Eagles offense back out onto the field. They have the big lead here late. They protected their home turf well, didn't they?
They certainly did, partner. And just think about how good that feels, because every team has a goal when they start the year to win at home. All right, and sometimes you don't win all of them, but they managed to get that done today. Just think about your routine stays the same. Everything's familiar. You feel
Jay Ajayi's going to go. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. Elliott good on the extra point, and the lead will swell by 1 more. Elliott now to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. and that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Now it's Smith. Crowder's got it over the middle. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. That's just his second catch of the game. They wanted to keep him silent. They have kept him silent.
Defensive football 101. Don't let the best player on offense beat you. Take him out of the game, and they've done a great job of doing that.
Watch 36. 36 to Mike.
Now a first down throw is Smith. He'll go over the middle to Reed, complete. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. That throw good for 4. It's second down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6.
Set.
A shotgun snap for Smith. And Reed with it over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Smith finding his big tight end Reed for a Redskins first. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
Smith now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10.
I said 180. I said.
Throwing again is Smith. And this is caught. A spectacular one-handed grab there. Touchdown, Washington. Jamison Crowder, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Redskins are able to at least knock this deficit down a bit.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team, but I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
The call is to go for 1 and kick the extra point. And oh, it's blocked. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This one taken just inside the 10. And a good effort on the return there. Gets them across the 30 to the 33-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. They have the dream scenario you hope for coming into the game. Just one kneel here, and this game should be over.
And it's always the final play of preparation each week. The practicing of the kneel-down formation, the victory formation. We've got a game in hand, and that's all they're going to want to do now. They'll put someone back deep just in case something goes haywire. But all in all, take the snap, kneel down, and shake hands. Yes, get out of there.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Here's a handoff to Ajayi to begin the drive. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. 16 yards right off the bat and a first down. Now whistles and a timeout called here. Not sure of the point of this, but they'll stop it with 4 seconds to go in the game.
Hey. 4 down.
Go.
Wentz to throw. Launching one for Henderson. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.